and see if the guys are actually on it. So, which former Scotland international has led two teams to a combined 3 Scottish Championship titles as their manager in the last decade? So, which former Scottish international has led two teams to a combined 3 Scottish Championship titles as their manager in the last decade? What do you reckon, guys?
Well, in the last decade, that's a lot of people coming through the books. I honestly, I can't remember, I can't recall, or even install it in my head who that guy would be. But it wasn't a Celtic or Rangers player, was it?
I don't think so. No.
Yeah, and that knackers me completely. Chris, you got any ideas?
Well, if it'd been half the amount of teams, then but I mean, I just guess Callum Davis.
St Johnson, that's a good shout, Glenn.
Well, yeah, very successful manager too. No, it's kick yourself. It's Robbie Neilson. He took Hearts to the championship title in 2015 and 2021, and he took Dundee United to the title in 2020.
Wow,
I know.
Great question. I would never have gone for that. Wow. What can you kick us off with this time, Glenn? Great question, by the way.
Right, okay. So here's one. Right, listen carefully, guys. Okay. Right. Which three Scottish siblings play their football in the top flights of Scottish football? So 3 siblings, they're Scottish, and they play their football currently in the top flights of Scottish football.
Oh, I was going to say the McGinns, but one of them plays in England, so it's not them.
Yeah.
Unless he's signed just with Celtic just before we got on, just to spite us. But, Forrest.
3 siblings in the Scottish
top flights.
Cadden, is it the Caddens?
No, the pair of brothers, but yeah.
I thought they might have had somebody else sneaking in the Motherwell reserve somewhere, Glenn.
Hey. What were you saying there, Chris?
Forrest.
Okay, which Forrest would that be?
The one that plays for Hearts, the one that plays
Alan.
for Celtic, and the one that plays for another Premiership.
Yeah, hey, a great kind of right answer. Yeah, it is actually. It's James Forrest, Celtic, Alan Forrest at Hearts, and Lisa Forrest at Glasgow City.
Oh, you chancer! That was yeah. It's a sibling.
Sorry, guys.
It's a sibling. Give you that.
Yeah, but what an amazing family! You know, we always talk up the McGinns. And the fact that they produced like 3 guys, 2 played for Scotland, etc. Look at the Forests. That's some family.
It is.
Can't see the wood for the trees. Ba-boom.
I know. Can I just say at this point, Glenn, you've got your quiz calendars coming out at Christmas time, so give a wee plug for them, Glenn, because they're absolutely amazing. This is where the questions come from.
All right, thanks. Yeah, I do a series of quiz calendars. They sit in your desk. Think You Know Football. That's where the football questions come from. We've got Think You Know Golf, Think You Know Rugby. They're not all just sport. There's Think You Know It All, Think You Know Music, and Think You Know Films. You'll find them in the Calendar Club shops all over Britain. You'll also get them in Waterstones and bizarrely now TK Maxx, or you can get them online as well. I know TK Maxx has started taking as well, so it's really good. Yeah, so if you want to be, if you want a few brain teasers, get them. They make great gifts. You know, if you're looking for somebody like really into golf, you don't want to get them a calendar. They're good fun, but I'm biased, obviously.
I'll be getting mine for the Christmas for a few people. Right, let's get into the meaty subject of Scottish football. It wasn't the best of games that Scotland played against Belarus, but we were suggesting last week, Chris, that this wouldn't be a walkover. It wouldn't be a 6-0 that the Danes put to them. But it was a bit worse than that, wasn't it? It was horrendous.
Only if you watched it, of course.
I watched it.
It was just much the same as the game before, but Belarus didn't really have much to play for, to be honest. They never travel well, and Hungary might as well be the end of the world. But I'll be honest, that it was a different Belarus. If you watched the highlights of their game, it was a different Belarus that turned up. I don't know if that was based on what they saw against Greece, but they definitely, for me, they looked up for it.
Yeah, indeed, Glenn. But for their goal, and one or two times they sliced open our midfield and defence and got through. Worrying times, I thought.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, okay, so it finishes 2-1, but let's not forget, I mean, they actually had a goal chopped off as well. And if it hadn't been for a foul on McTominay, that was really good play from them. I'm with Chris. I don't actually understand why they decided to change the way they played. I do know there was visa problems, so they actually started the match with quite a few of their under-21s. So maybe they had a different approach. The under-21s have got a different kind of attitude. You know, like there would be. I would imagine there's a lot of Belarusian senior pros in the national team that have been, you know, they've been thumped lots of times. You know, and you know, so they sit back, etc. And maybe the under-21s decided, let's take the match to Scotland. Maybe they thought, of all the teams, this is the one we can get a result against Scotland.
No.
You never know. And they were almost right. Frightening possession for them. They normally they sit like low to mid 20%, you know, and they had 45% against us. And when they had the possession, they used it a lot better than us. That was a very worrying game. However, on the back of this, you still have to sit back and say, my God, we've risen from 43rd to 38 in the FIFA rankings. Okay, they're really important because when you if we end up in the playoffs, it is, you know, the pot you go into is decided by your rankings.
That's
So
right.
yeah, so it's not pretty, it's not good. But if you turn around and you speak to Greek fans or, you know, etc., and you say to them, would you rather have better performances like you have and be out of the World Cup, or would you rather have absolute dross performances or as McGinn said, two jobby performances, you know? But we've got we've got the points, you know, and we're still in contention. Well, it's very bizarre.
But Chris, is it all well and good winning and scraping by, getting the points, but going to a World Cup if we qualify and getting horsed badly like we did in Germany?
Well, Germany, for me, the game against Hungary, they were there for the taking. If ever, it was a bit like the Morocco game. Everyone was set up to go right, have at them, and we didn't. So right now, the way things are going, then it would be absolute whipping boys. But let's get there. I mean, I would say it was two job done performances for me that they will be quickly forgotten. But what gives me a bit of hope is that Stevie Clark apparently seems to be quite angry about this now, as opposed to, well, you know, we got the result. So I'm hoping there's a few rockets up pin ends, as it were, because they're absolutely the application and endeavour. In a given day, sometimes it doesn't come off. But when, for me, Glenn mentioned the possession, but 20 shots and goal, 20 shots by Belarus.
Yeah.
You know, they're a shot shy team, so that's, you can have all the possession, but they were having a right good crack, probably because the under 21's a bit more gallus, staking a claim, but they obviously knew that we were playing badly. So yeah, massive improvement needed if we're going to qualify in the first place, and then moving forward for that.
But I'll stick with you for this, Chris. But because you've answered my question. But is it, do you think, because our players play too many games, that when they come to the international circuit, they're a bit jaded?
No, I mean, they're not playing any more games than anybody else. I mean, if
well,
you
they're
think
the 21s for the Belarus team. You would imagine they wouldn't be in the first team and playing at that level.
No, they wouldn't. But I mean, what did they have to lose then? To stake a claim. I mean, if they go there, right? If the younger players go there and you know, they try hard and it doesn't work out for them and they end up being embarrassed, well, that will be quickly forgotten. But they had nothing to lose, I think, by getting thrown in there. So sometimes necessity is the mother of invention, and they just went for it by the looks of it. Even physically, you could see the way they were going into challenges and that wasn't.
Yeah.
You know, that isn't a Belarusian team that's essentially playing away from home, down at the bottom of the group, knowing they're not going to go anywhere and just trying to keep the goals down. That was a team probing and looking for weaknesses. So they were sharp as well. So yeah, there was a lot of positives I would take for the Belarus point of view for them.
Glenn, Steve Clark got off the hook, didn't he? You couldn't say he planned that, although he was showing a bit of regret at the end of the game. It wasn't the best game he's ever watched Scotland play, especially on his is I think he just surpassed Craig Brown's record at that point. I think he did. I'm not sure. But is he a lucky manager or is he a damn good one?
He's a mix, I would say. I think Scotland were quite lucky. Scotland, and then obviously you include Steve Clarke in that, lucky to get out with the result we did. Although, to be fair, we should have had a penalty as well, because what happened to Shea Adams in the box? That was an absolute nailed-on penalty. First of all, it looked like there was a handball, and then when he was on the ground, he tries to header it through Shea Adams' legs and grabs his leg. But never mind. They played the better football. They should have got a result. They should deserved at least a draw. Is he lucky versus good? It depends at which point in his Scotland career it is. I would say he was poor in the at the European Championships. I agree with Chris. I think in qualification, he was damn good. I think it's the group of players. Now, I can't figure this out at all. That game that they played, he did not send them out there defensively, etc. Although I would have went with two up front, but never mind. They were still an attack-minded team, and it's early in the season. I can't fathom out why I think, other than being surprised by the way Belarus played and not being able, they weren't capable of actually turning their game plan around. He apparently he completely lost the plot in the first half break, and then at full time he was raging as well. So that wasn't his plan. They executed really poorly on the pitch. So I don't know. A lot of it is always in the hands of the actual players, and they didn't deliver, but they got away with it. I think really the interesting point will now be how we play in November. A lot of the players turned around and they said it was bad. The standards, they fell well below the standards. They got away with it. They don't want a repeat of that. You heard McTominay, you heard McGinn. They were all saying this is just simply not good enough. So they know that's been ripped into them by Clarke. They've now got a game away to Greece, and then they've got a game at home to Denmark. They're the big ones. Okay, they were expected to beat Belarus. They didn't cope well with it. We're normally better as underdogs. Let's see how we perform before we can really judge him. I mean, although to be fair, he's got a decent win rate. I think he's the third best of all the Scotland managers. It doesn't feel like it right now, but yeah.
No, it doesn't. But Chris, you saw when Lyndon Dykes came on, what a difference. He had energy, he had legs, and he was chasing down everything. That's what led to the third goal against Greece. But then he still pursued with Che Adams, who done absolutely hee-haw in that game, just about.
Well,
we all query his decisions, don't we, as fans?
Aye, but I mean, if you're taking Che Adams just now, I mean, it was a great goal. He took it well. Another one offside, good finish again. So he's doing things. He's there and thereabouts. But yeah, I mean, Che Adams definitely had them rattled when he came on. Absolutely no doubt about that. And it is hard sometimes to think why does he persevere? I don't know the answer to that right enough. But as far as I liked the Scottish players' reaction, because I mean Robertson. If you'd put in the panel aside Robertson speaking at a wake, that's exactly what you'd have thought he was doing. Just the head down and bowed, and so I think Stevie Clarke did. And it's good to see that rather than the bullish. Well, we won. What are you going to do about it? So I'm hoping that the truth's starting to come home and hurt a wee bit. But I mean, you could probably argue that, well, if it is, how come he's no bringing on other players earlier, younger players earlier? You've got to say that. So yeah, the massive improvement needed. The only thing I'm glad about is that Greece are now on the outside looking in, and they don't have any hopes. So ideally they might rest a few players, and it's great as well the way the games fell that we get Greece first, because then that way if Greece's heads do go down, then we'll take something more into the last game. But things have to change, and for the outside, it seems as if Stevie Clarke's attitude's changing. So that can only bode well, I hope.
I hope so. Glenn, if we draw with Denmark, is that enough?
No.
Because they've
No.
got a better goal difference, haven't they?
Yeah, exactly. So what can actually, if we draw with Greece, okay, we don't actually have to beat Greece. So Denmark can win their next game. They will win their next game. If they've got Belarus. We've got Greece. A win would be great, but it doesn't make any difference whether it's a win or a draw. Really, if we will have to go and beat Denmark, and
Yeah.
we're capable of doing it. We have done it before, and if we turn up, we've played really well against the likes of Spain. Look how Norway are playing just now. They're ripping up qualification, and we gave a good go against them and got good results. That was they. Essentially, it was the same team then as is now. So we can play if we apply ourselves. Thing is, it's really, really, although you can navigate the playoffs, etc. And currently we'd be sitting in pot 2, which means we would get a pot 3 team and we'd get a home semi-final. And then if you progress beyond that, you'd actually, it'd be like 50-50 whether you get the home or away match for the final. That's all possible. It's hard, but possible.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, if you go to the World Cup through that route, you go in for the draw for the World Cup, you're in pot 4.
Oh,
we have absolutely no chance of progressing, in my mind, from pot 4 in the World Cup. So it's back to that situation. It's nice to get the tournaments, etc., but we're not going to get to the group stages. We might get a draw, might get a win or something if somebody else is eliminated. So we really, really need to get the results against Greece and Denmark. Because if we go through as group winners, we'll probably be in pot 2.
But my second team will be Denmark in the World Cup, just because the way they play and the way they take on teams up and at them. They've got a population the same size as us, and unbelievable what they can do. But I hope we can gub them. By the way, Israel were kicked out of the World Cup. Italy beat them. There was a lot of joyful feeling at that one because of the war that's going on. And by the way, Belarus being kicked out. Have not been able to play at their home stadium because their country sided with Russia. It just seems to be, what the hell are UEFA, FIFA doing to our clubs? How much do you think that would have impacted a team, Chris, not being able to play at their own crowd? Belarus would have been a much better prospect. They'll feel they've been shortchanged over this.
Well, I mean, again, Hungary, they're probably one of the more recent communist countries, but it will seem like just a different planet to Belarus now. I mean, I think you were over in Belarus as well, and I was there. So it's a strange place. It's as if it's stopped in time a wee bit. So they did definitely go in with one hand tied behind their back, but they used to be a decent enough team. But yep, the UEFA's made that decision for them. So that's really that. And they'd never looked as if they were going to get out of the group, to be honest.
That's when politics shouldn't enter the national teams. And there's a problem as well down south. Maccabi Tel Aviv are playing Aston Villa. And Keir Starmer saying he won't stand for any anti-Semitism. But the problem is, and I don't want to make this a political show, that these people are supporting or are against a genocide. They're not anti-Semitic per se. And so we've got our laws all mixed up, tangled up, and people are getting really, really annoyed at this, Glenn. But let's move on a wee bit, because some better news. We were going to mention Glasgow City. We mentioned them earlier because, what's her name? Is it Jill Forrest?
No, Lisa Forrest.
Lisa Forrest. My apologies, Lisa, if you're listening or watching this. Glasgow City are not affiliated to a big team, Celtic or Rangers, Hearts, Hibs. They're on their own. They fundraise and they do everything on their own bat. To get to Europa finals is nothing short of miraculous, isn't it?
It's I mean, first of all, I'll declare an interest. Glasgow City are my club as far as women's football is concerned in Scotland. Absolutely love them. They've been trailblazers for women's football in Scotland for a long time, long before the old firm really had any particular interest in it at all. And now they're chucking a fair bit of money towards it. Well, not trying to buy titles, but doing what they do. They're competitive now. They're wanting to win. But Glasgow City aren't going away. I feared at one point they might be like Queen's Park. Originally when Scottish football was founded, and Queen's Park dominated for quite a wee while, and then professionalism took over, and Queen's Park stayed amateur. They're Glasgow City. They're semi-pro to pro. They really develop lattice football all the way through. They're not interested in men's football other than maybe watching it occasionally. But it was brilliant. They've had some cracking nights at their home stadium, and it looked like it was a packed out crowd there. Great atmosphere. They were 2-1 down from the first leg. And listen, if you've got BBC and the iPlayer, go look at the match. The match is up there. This match ended 5-3, but it can't describe the drama. After going toe to toe with like this team, Hibica, I think they've been champions 3 times in the last 4 years of Denmark. They've got players that are on loan from AC Milan, etc. They're a really good outfit. They fought back, and but with 5 minutes to go, Hibica took the lead in the tie, and it looked like it was all doomed. Then in 90 minutes, brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Equalised on the night, and you think that's it, we're going to extra time, and then Lisa Forrest pops up with a header. She's tiny, by the way, she's tiny, and it was a cracking header that looped over the keeper to win the match. And they go through 6-5 in aggregate, and it's huge. It's absolutely huge. You mentioned about fundraising and all that kind of stuff, because they don't have the backing of any particularly big club like Celtic, Rangers, or Hearts. The European money is vital for them. So they're going through to the next round, the Europa Cup last 16, and they've got Benfica. So it's going to be a cracking one. They're at home in the first leg, they're away in the second leg, etc. But it's potentially a great match. And if they get through there, they play Austria Vienna. Now they knocked them out of the Champions League qualifying this year, so a chance of revenge. They played they played really good football. It was a party atmosphere. Everyone just seemed to enjoy themselves, and overall they shaded it well.
It's Chris, women's football, much derided by a lot of people. But if you were to go to a women's football match or just watch it on BBC Alba, you'll see that the standard is absolutely phenomenal. The diagonal passes, the running into space, the pressing. It's a magic game to watch. And Glasgow City are just doing amazing things with their team.
Well, I mean, you're talking about a 5-3 game with all the excitement in the last minute, and will it go? Well, assuming it'll go to extra time, then it didn't. I mean, that's sort of box office entertainment. You can't really put a price on that. I would say the standards definitely. You can see it's raising, and a lot of times I think that happens as well with the collaboration of clubs like Celtic and Rangers. They can invest a lot of money, and they've already got an established setup, so that can help feed and encourage it and promote it. So Glasgow City just now, I mean, you see that they're doing a lot of sort of promotional work, which is great, so to get the name out there. And I've got a point there actually. You mentioned the Old Firm. I was thinking about this the other day, and I thought, wait a minute, the Old Firm is actually now Aberdeen and Dundee United, really, if you want to be technical about it. So yeah, that's my tuppence worth anyway. But yeah, I mean, absolutely great, and just when teams like Celtic and Rangers are struggling now in Europe, it's good to see that.
Yeah, they are. They're asking for you to buy tickets if you can for the game. They're hosting the Portuguese Giants in the first leg. Get there. I don't know where the game is. I think it's at New Douglas. Is it, Glenn?
No, they play at Peter Hill Park.
Peter Hill.
Yeah, or PV as they call it. But can I give a wee shout? There was one particular player I really wanted to see. I mentioned about them having players on loan from AC Milan, and it's Nadia Nadim. Okay, so she's probably one of the best known footballers in women's football, especially in European women's football. So I mean, again, we're not getting political, etc. But she, her and her family escaped from Afghanistan when they were 11, fled to Denmark. Made Denmark their home. She's now gone on to represent her country 108 times. She scored 38 times for them. She is the perfect example of of the positive contribution that refugees, etc., can make. She's went on. She's played all over the world. She loves Denmark. She sees herself as Danish, and she scored. I think it was the second goal, and it was honestly, look at the highlights. It's from the edge of the box. She basically half volley lobs it over the keeper.
Know.
It's my eldest was watching with me, and his eyes almost popped out his head. He says, "That is a stunning goal, Dad."
Yeah.
You know, he's sometimes critical of women's football, but he just
Is he?
he applauded. You know,
Wow.
brilliant goal.
Wow. Well, all the best to Glasgow City. We're rooting for them here at Stramash. On with the next quiz question, Glenn. Why not?
Yeah, absolutely. So here you go, guys. Okay, so we're on to management now. Which Scottish manager who won the English Premier League as a player has managed one English club on 4 separate occasions?
4?
I know.
He's gone back
He's gone back.
English.
Yeah, he's done it. He's gone back 3 times. Yeah, they've taken him back 3 times. So he's got a special relationship with his club. He has won the English Premier League as a player. He is a Scottish manager, and he's managed one English club 4 times.
Is a ex-Man United player?
It is.
I was going to say Dalglish. Thank God you mentioned that, Norrie.
That's very honest of you there, Chris.
It's not. Brian McClare's never been a manager. That's not him.
You're right.
It's a Scottish guy. Scottish guy.
Definitely Scottish. Aye.
Darren Fletcher.
No.
He's still with Man United, isn't he? Doing under,
Yeah, he's in their youth ranks. Yeah.
Yeah.
I coach him. Obviously.
Who Scotsman that played for Man United?
Do you want a clue?
Steve. No.
Let Glenn have let Chris have a guess.
No, I was just going to say a Liverpool player there, but obviously that's not going to work.
I give you a clue, Glenn.
Okay. The clue is he's got an incredibly famous father.
McQueen?
Oh.
No.
Is his father a footballer?
Ferguson?
His father's in football, yeah. Sorry, what did you say there, Chris?
Darren Ferguson? I don't know, I'm guessing.
Bang on!
Oh, right, it was
Did he go back to Peterborough? Is Peterborough the team?
Yeah, that's it.
Wow.
Yeah. Posh.
I didn't think he played for Man U.
He did. He won the title with them in the first season of the Premier League. 92-93, he played 15 times. Brian Robson was injured, so he got a lot more games than probably a lot of people would think. He wasn't the best player, but he's got a Premier League title in his pocket, you know.
Wow, I did not know that, Glenn. That's another cracker of a question. I thought when you said Man United, I would get it. I'd go through them all in my head over the years. But Chris, well done, mate, on that stab in the dark.
Well, you know, Fergie probably injured Brian Robson just to get his son in the. Wouldn't put the
shoehorn him in.
Allegedly.
Yeah, no.
Can I mention at this point? I was away doing some Monroes, right? And I'm just wondering if hill walking is now the new sport in Scotland, because it seems to me everybody and their dog's doing it. Glenn, I know you've got a bad knee. It might be difficult for you to get up the hills and stuff. Chris, you're carrying too much weight. You might not get up there either. But
I'll be doing them.
Have you? Which ones have you done lately?
No, I can get in them, no bother. It's just the
I rolled in. It's one of those things. There might be people watching this thing. I've just done some Monroes. Are people getting taken out of their houses and out their front doors to go at the hills rather than sit down and watch a match these days? I'm wondering. I just wonder, because it's really getting popular.
Norrie, to be fair, most of them are Aberdeen fans trying to escape the football.
Do you know this? I meet more Rangers and Celtic fans up there. When you ask them about sport, I'm trying to punt Stramash and stuff. Celtic and Rangers. Honestly. Maybe they're trying to get away to the hills, Chris.
Well, certainly on European nights, I would be. The couch is too wee to hide behind, so it's to the hills we go. I mean, I was up maybe more. I just during the week there with my ScotRail Club 50. Well, I'm far too young, of course, but the scenery, just the autumn scenery was just. I mean, you would see it as well, Norrie, but the walking. It's just the beauty of it is, it could even the next day it could even massively change. So you just cherish every everything you see.
Absolutely, mate.
Yeah.
Can I just get a wee plug for my next door neighbour? Her name is Hazel Hunter, right? She lives next door to us. And she's representing Scottish women in the upcoming next week hurling shinty match against Ireland. Isn't that amazing?
Fantastic.
Yeah. And that's at Buck Park. If anyone wants to get tickets for that, it's going to be quite a match. And I tell you what, there'll be a few Irish there, so there might be a few beers after in the clubhouse and beyond. I'll be there if you want to get along, say hello. But well done, Hazel. That's that is a tremendous event. And the thing is, she plays for Glenuchart just here. It's not Canusi, it's not Newtonmore, it's not the big teams, Oban Celtic, it's none of them, it's Glenuchart. Well done. Brilliant achievement.
Well, we could maybe...
Sorry, you'll love it, by the way. Sorry. On you go, Chris.
Maybe update the YouTube, the description with the Think You Know calendars and about the mixed rules. You can do that afterwards.
Is that for you? Is that for Glenn?
No, I'll do that. I'll update it with the link for the calendars and the link for the mixed rules game.
Right. Brilliant. Yeah. I've been before to Buck Park for that, and it's tremendous. Honestly, it's great atmosphere and it's great fun. Took my kids, and yeah, there's beer and there's Guinness flowing.
Yes, indeed. I might ask the wife to drive the car on that one, or get the bus back.
Naughty. Do what my dad used to always say. He says, he'd say like to my mum, he says, "Look, do you fancy going to this or that?" And then he would drive there, and then once he parked the car, he says, "You're driving home."
That's been used too many times, Glenn. She's not going to bite on that one, I'm afraid. Listen, we've got a full card coming up. What's the time we've got? How long have we got left? Half an hour. Aberdeen, let's start with the A's. They've got St Mirren, Glenn. Apparently, this is what Stephen Robinson's saying. He's saying the game against Kilmarnock was a one-off. My players didn't play at all well. They know that, and will come good again. It's a one-off, a bad game. We've written it off, and we'll take Aberdeen at Paisley. The horrifying thing is that Aberdeen haven't won at Paisley for like years. Donkeys. How do you see this one going?
Oh, I mean, heart and head are saying two different things. Yeah, Aberdeen have got a terrible record there. I think St Mirren have won 5 of the last 6 meetings there. I think we've hardly won at all since they moved to that stadium.
I know.
And St Mirren are obviously there was a blip last time out, but they're playing okay this season. Always well organised. I don't know. It's going to be a strange one because you've got 2 teams meeting, okay, and they're both low-scoring teams. Now you've got St Mirren in 7 games have only got 5 goals, but they've got the results. And you've got Aberdeen who have only scored 4 times, and they all came in 1 match. That was a good, but it was the last time they were out. They've got a couple of boys that are really on a high just now. See how Carlson gets on down in Paisley, but I'm not sure. The international break came at the bad time, I think, for Aberdeen, and probably the right time for St Mirren. They'll get a reset. They've got a decent squad. They've not really carrying many injuries. They've got their captain coming back. They've got 3 guys coming back that were injured, and saying if they don't start, they'll be in the squad. So they're going to be almost at the fullest strength they've had since the start of the season. I'm not too sure how it's going to go.
Yeah,
I'm hopeful.
Well, Chris, that's what Stephen Robinson's saying. He's got a full squad to pick from. That is a ominous sign to Aberdeen to be on guard, because I'll tell you one thing, they're a fit team. They're a forward-thinking team. When they're on the attack, if you ever watch them, Chris, they've got about 6 guys at least in the box waiting for something to drop. And then they can zoot back, the ball gets punted up again. Aberdeen have got to be on the metal.
He's always known to have fit teams. I mean, for me, Aberdeen are only a sort of low-scoring team if you take all the other games apart from the last one into consideration, and I singularly choose not to. So for me, it's a worrying thing, in that really I mean, even to go off the bottom of the league, Aberdeen need to win and hope that Dundee get beat. So, at the moment, it's all about just trying to climb the league. But I feel that Aberdeen really need to string 4 or 5 great results together.
Yeah.
Oh, you can say St Mirren have got a full team, that's great and all the rest of it. But I think I fancy Aberdeen actually to maybe start putting on a bit of a run. Yeah, I know it's doing in Paisley, but yeah, I think I fancy them.
And Glenn, there was word this week that Jimmy Tillin might be taking the Sweden job, but apparently that's not a starter anymore. But a lot of Aberdeen fans were quite worried. Even after all this time, they still put their faith in Jimmy Tillin.
I'd say some Aberdeen fans are worried. Some Aberdeen fans were delighted. I'm not one of them, but there's he's got to the point where a lot of Aberdeen fans, if they hadn't won against Dundee, and in the manner that they won against Dundee, because no bones about it, they took Dundee apart. St Mirren will be an entirely different proposition. Dundee were shambolic at times. Apologies to Dundee fans out there, but I've also read what they've been saying about their team, and they're not very happy. So if he hadn't won in that manner and has won it as well, there would have been so much pressure on him. Apparently he's not one of the favourites anyway for the job, and he had said he didn't want to be this early in his career, etc. before. So that's just not going to happen. That's a distraction. Aberdeen have got all the motivation they need for this game, or they should have. Look, building a terrific performance last time out, end their hoodoo at this horrible ground for us, okay, and possibly jump from 12th to 9th if the results go our way. I mean, the league is so tight. That would be us up to 9th. I have a funny feeling, but I'm an eternal optimist. I think that we're going to edge this one. I think St Mirren will be, as I said, much harder than Dundee, but I do think Aberdeen will win this. I think it'll be 2-1. I think there actually will be goals. I'm going against what I was saying earlier. I think it'll be 2-1 Aberdeen.
See, the thing is, Shamal George, who they bought from Livingston, and I never ever thought he was that great a keeper, Chris, but he's been pulling out the stops. He's been doing those saves behind his back, and flipping them back and coming out commanding his box. He's a hard guy to get past. So, with Aberdeen scoring 4 goals, Carlson was instrumental in unlocking Dundee. If he's playing, we've got half a chance. But we need the defence shored up as well. I always think that Nicky Devlin should start. He's an attacking fullback, and he can take a shot. He's aggressive. It just depends. Jimmy Tillin's a bit like Steve Clark. You think, why the hell are you playing him all the time? He kind of has a loyalty, but maybe that's changing. I don't know.
I would hope so. I mean, Devlin always gives you something, even the odd goal. And he's quite a determined character, young enough just now. And I'm guessing, I suspect he might be at least the temporary captain when Shinnie, eventually hangs up his boots. But he's in and around the squad. But yeah, I mean, Devlin for me, the way he overcame all the difficulties and getting farmed out to all these, say, maybe no lesser clubs, but all these lower clubs.
Aye.
And he's fought back, and there's not, even to the extent of getting Scotland caps, and there's not very many people that can have those setbacks and come roaring back. So yeah, I mean, he's definitely a talisman, and that I suppose Shinnie's fading a wee bit, but yeah, I think he should definitely get more game time. There's no doubt about that.
Well, for my part, I'd love to see Aberdeen win, but I'm going to go a 1-1 draw. I think that's a good result for Aberdeen because St Mirren at home are a good team. What about you, Chris?
Well, I'll go for it. 2-0 Aberdeen.
Oh, 2-0, 0-2. Glenn, you're saying 2-1.
2-1 Aberdeen, yeah.
If anyone's got a pen and paper there, can you write these scores down? Because I don't, and I usually do.
I'll do it in the old invisible ink.
The Dundee teams are playing the Glasgow teams this weekend. Dundee have got Celtic. Dundee United have got Rangers. We'll start with Dundee United because Rangers still haven't got a manager. But, Chris, they're after, I think they're going to sign him, Muscat, who's doing well in the Chinese leagues somewhere. And they're wanting to, he's an ex-player. He knows what Rangers are about, apparently. But I think a lot of people were disappointed that Steven Gerrard didn't return. That might be a blessing in disguise, actually, for Rangers.
Well, I mean, he did do walking away when he was there, so I don't know. I mean, again, one in a
He
row,
did.
1 out of 9. That to me, okay, I know that the diehards will go, well, it was the one that mattered, but I mean, he's got all the money he needs, and even down to Villa, Saudi Arabia, didn't he set the head on fire? So
No.
yeah, I just think he didn't want the aggro, and they go for Muscat. You know, anybody talks about Muscat, I'm like, yeah, I remember him when he had hair, but I don't know if they are doing the the Aussie Southeast Asia thing. He'll be as good as whoever, but I mean, the roles that they're running anyway, so it looks as if that's who they're going to go with. But the problems run a lot deeper than who's sitting in the dugout getting pelters, I think.
I think so. Glenn, Dundee United, what do you think of them so far this season? Quite a good cohesive unit.
Well, yes and no. They're like an enigma to me. So, like most Scottish teams, when they're in Europe, if you're not the Old Firm, although the Old Firm are struggling this year in Europe as well, basically, they can't do the like play on a Thursday and then play on a Sunday kind of thing. Dundee United were different. They actually started off the season quite well despite being in Europe. Okay, they're now out of Europe, but they still went on okay. But they look like they're coming off the boil just now. They're starting to tail off. The last result, not good. The last two results, not good for them. So I don't know. But then they've been okay against Rangers sometimes. So they enter this game, this match, and I think Goodwin will set them out, probably looking for a point, even though Rangers are in a bit of disarray. He'll want to get away with something positive, but I don't know whether he'll believe, given the last two results, they can actually get a win there. I think it's the youth manager, the under-19s manager, that's taken Rangers for the game, and apparently he'd actually thought that he'd just be training them this week because they'd have a manager in place, but that's obviously going completely upside down. I mean, I was laughing. Somebody had said that during the Rangers fans would have been looking forward to the international break, get a break from all the troubles at domestic. Despite having no football, they were still miserable as hell last weekend when Gerrard said no to them. Muscat, I mean, he's got a cracking record in China, but I mean, do you remember him when I think he played one season at Rangers? But I looked him up. This is not a quiz question, but okay. So he played for 19 years. In those 19 years, he got 123 yellow cards and 12 red cards. You were saying about managers getting pelters in the dugout. I think actually very, very shortly, players will be getting pelters if they don't play well.
Yeah, he was a bit of a thug, Chris. I remember him playing for Rangers. He was no hold barred. He was, for what he lacked in talent, he took people down. If he takes that attitude to Rangers, will that be enough? But this game at the weekend, can you imagine the under-19 manager having a great team talk at half-time if they're doing badly? I can't see that. So if Jim Goodwin can play his cards right, he could win this match quite easily.
Well, I wouldn't say quite easily, but he's wily enough, Jim. So yeah, I mean, they're definitely there for the taking. But you can imagine that Stephen Smith going, right, lads, good luck at the weekend, and they're like, what do you mean you're going to be here? And he's looking for the trap door, but yeah, they're in an absolute disarray just now, and it's just like, do you want to do it? No. Well, will you do it? All right. That's because people know that the vitriol that comes with. I mean, I've only been to Ibrox once to watch Aberdeen, and that was more than enough. But they're absolutely, set about the players. So I don't. There's nothing I see here that's going to be redeemable. To be honest, there's deep underlying problems. All these soft loans that eventually, despite their wishful thinking, will have to be paid. So I don't see anything positive happening. And in this game, I think Dundee United are well capable of a draw, without a doubt.
I think they could win this one, Glenn. I really do. I know players are going to be playing for their places, but there's a lot of guys wanting out of that club for one reason or another, they don't feel they're getting played in position. They don't feel they're getting enough game time or whatever. I just think there are, as Chris says, in a bit of disarray. This could be a game for Dundee United to win. I think they could win it. I think they've got the firepower.
Yeah, they've definitely got the players to win it. And if you think about it, we've said Rangers are not in a great place just now. But I just don't think Goodwin, given the last couple of results, will actually set up that way. And I think they haven't lost an away game this season so far. I think it'll be the same kind of case. I think you'll play for a draw. I think there'll be goals because both defenses are leaky. So, I'd go 2-2.
2-2. I don't know. I honestly think Rangers in such a bad place that I don't think they're going to come out of this winning great. There is some good players for Dundee United, and they can get goals. They've proved that. I'm going to go a 2-0, but definitely a 1-0. Because if they get the goal, that's them. They can sit in that and defend. And I don't think Rangers can come back. It's crucial if they get the first goal. They can sit in that. So I'm going to go 1-0. That's my score. You're going 2-0, Glenn?
Yeah.
Chris, what are you going?
I'll go for a turgid 0-0.
0-0. I'm going for a 1-0. 2-2, Glenn. Keeping it going. The other game, we've mentioned him already. The most unkempt manager that there's ever been. Stephen Presley. Yeah. He just gets up out of his bed and puts a jacket on, doesn't he? There's no comb in the hair or nothing. He just goes in front of cameras the way he is. Is that a good thing? Take him as he is, or is that a lack of respect? Because people do judge people on how they see them. But apart from that, is he a good manager? Can they take Celtic, Chris?
I think they're in a wee bit of a shaky nail just now, Dundee. Confidence, I think's kind of hard to come by, and at that stage you're looking for the manager to come in and even just brass neck it and be a bit more bullish. But he almost, well, unlike in his playing days, he seems to sort of shrink away when anyone starts asking him questions. And I think you have got to brass it out and really, exaggerate the positives and be a bit bullish. But he's not putting out the vibes, I'll put it that way. So I'd really can't talk about the unkempt hair of that. So I'll leave that vicious slander. That. Yeah, I think it's quite as combed, but I think for the next couple of games they're going to really be struggling to get some sort of semblance of team spirit back, because just getting that, it wasn't even a doing, I think, against that. And some team was always going to get it, but it was an absolute annihilation. It was comical at times, I would say, and I don't like seeing that. Well, I did like seeing that, but they just everywhere there was mistakes everywhere, and just a lack of composure and willingness to take a chance. So I think these things for me, they generally bed themselves in for at least a few weeks before some sort of solution can be got. So I fear the worst, to be honest.
Yeah. Glenn, you the same? Is this a banker? You put your mortgage on this, that Celtic are going to win it?
Well, I wouldn't put my mortgage on many things, but I think this is about as close as in this this week's fixtures. And this is probably the most one-sided of them. Let's say, look, Dundee were comprehensively beaten last time out by the weakest team in the league at that point, which was Aberdeen. They were played off the park. With Presley, what I don't understand is he was a reasonably accomplished reasonably accomplished defender in his time. And but specifically defender. And he's got a team out there that just can't defend. They can't score. They've had the fewest shots in the league, and they've faced the most shots in the league. Those, you can say what you like about stats, etc. But if you are the manager like Presley and you're looking at that does not bode well for your team. You're not shooting, you're not scoring, and you're conceding, and you're not holding on to the ball. They must have been praying that Aberdeen carried on with a run. Aberdeen might still actually have a bad run, but as it stands just now, I think Dundee will be the team that, unless they turn it around, change managers, Dundee are in big, big trouble. Celtic, they're not playing really well, but they are getting the results. They're sitting second. They're looking to strengthen. They've got Alistair Johnson coming back as well. They're talking about buying players in January already because they know they haven't done the proper business in the summer. There's fan protests, etc. I can't see Celtic doing anything other than winning up here. I think they've got something like unbeaten in their last 30 odd matches, up in Dundee, and Dundee winless in 46 matches against Celtic.
Yeah.
So, Norrie, if you've got a mortgage, go stick it on Celtic.
Yeah. Score lines. What are we going here? Dundee fans, look away now, Chris.
And cover your ears.
Probably 3-0. I mean, I don't think it'll be a great Celtic performance, but they'll just grind out 3 goals. I would say 3-0 Celtic.
Glenn?
Well, I'm going by, if we can put 4 past them, what can Celtic do? I mean, Celtic, you would think that they would have been, Rodgers been prepping his team with the break they've had for the internationals, etc. I'm actually going to go 5.
I'm going to go 3 because we've seen Belarus getting hammered 6 by Denmark, and we got them. We couldn't beat them 2-1. Football's a funny old game when teams can come back and they find something from somewhere and bring new players in. I think Simon Murray hasn't been playing that well, but if he finds his shooting boots, you never know. And that could give him an impetus. But I've got to say, on evidence, I think Celtic should win this one. But Dundee fans, this shouldn't define your seasons. Getting beat to Celtic, come on. They're a multi-million-pound club. Take this one and move on for next Monday. But for now, it's going to be something like 3-0. I'm with Chris, 3-0 on that one. Kilmarnock Hearts, game of the day, I think. Kilmarnock, absolutely. A lot of people have taken their eye off this team, Chris, but they're creeping up. They're getting the points. They're getting the results. They're playing good football. Even Stephen Robinson had to admit that Kilmarnock turned his team over, and that's the St Mirren team. Can this last? Is this just a wee flash in the pan? I've got Kilmarnock got it in them to do a good run here.
I mean, I think they've got it in them to do a good run. Whether or not they'll be able to actually do it in this weekend, that's a different question. But I mean, it's obviously got McInnes written all over it, old club and all the rest of it. But yeah, I mean, I think they're worthy of their place right now in the league. Kilmarnock, to be honest. So I think they'll score. Hearts just seem to be, I don't use this word lightly, irresistible at the moment. So I think Kilmarnock will score, but I suspect Hearts might grind, same way they did against Hibs, just grind it out, get a 2-1.
Yeah. Glenn, what do you reckon? Hearts, as Chris says, are irresistible sometimes. Up front, they're playing well. But Kilmarnock are playing equally well. This could be a cracker of a match.
Yeah, I don't really want to say it's going to be a cracker because I said that with the Heart Hibs, and it was just I watched the whole thing, and I was like, oh yeah, it's going to be it's going to be great for Scottish people. Everybody tune in, and it was unless you weren't a fan of those clubs, it was a really dire match. I think both clubs deserve plaudits here. I mean, you look at Kilmarnock, they lost Derek McInnes, a good manager. They had to appoint somebody else. They won their last 2 games reasonably well. I mean, against 2 teams that have been getting plaudits, Dundee United and St Mirren. That's hard going. Interestingly, they haven't actually won 3 games in a row with a clean sheet for, I think, 7 years. So they'll be looking for their clean sheet and a win. Can they do it? They're at home. That pitch is horrendous for a lot of teams. That could be a factor. Could this be the thing that derails Hearts? Maybe, will they get a draw at this? I don't know. McInnes is used to this pitch, obviously, but his players won't be. You only visit a few times a season. Obviously, I mean, if you look at Hearts, it's hard not to admire the way they're playing. They've recruited really well. They've got. I love Braga. What a cracking find he's been. Not quite free scoring, 16 goals though, and reasonably tight in defence. if it wasn't on that pitch, I would probably say, you're going to look at Hearts continuing a run. But, the results that Kilmarnock have just had just now, that pitch, I think they might get a draw out of this. I don't think they'll get their clean sheet. I think there will be goals. So I'm going to go 1-1.
1-1. I'm going to stick my neck out here. I think if Kilmarnock can play to their potential, and I always thought Stuart Kelwell was a good manager. Even when he was at Motherwell, Chris, he had a good team playing there. At the end, it was just a run of bad luck and injuries and signings that somebody else had taken on. He's a good manager. The guy knows what our team is. I'm going to go 1-0 Kilmarnock. I think this will be the derailing of Hearts, and I think Derek McInnes will go back to Edinburgh with his tail between his legs.
There you go. Well, I mean, I think I beg to differ, but who knows? Like, I mean, I might start doing a Sunday night thing and just clinically analyse all the results. Who knows? The predictions, I should say. I should start doing that. But I think it'll be a great game. I don't agree with Glenn. I genuinely think that both of them will go hard at it. And ideally, it'd be a great advert for Scottish football. But I still think, Hearts should probably grind it out.
Well, got a score?
2-1 Hearts.
2-1. Are you going to draw, Glenn? Did you say a draw?
Yeah, 1-1. I'm not saying it won't be a good game. I just think they've also got decent defences. 2 clean sheets for Kilmarnock. I think Hearts have just conceded 6 as well. So I think there'll be a lot of attacking football and 2 teams going out to win it. But I just don't think it'll. I think it'll be 1-1.
1-1. We've got 2 left. The mighty Motherwell. They've got Falkirk. Glenn, Motherwell playing really good football right now. In the semi-finals with St Mirren, another team that if you take your eye off them, you're in trouble. If you think you've got a win here, think again. They're a good team. What are you making of this one?
Oh, tell you what, I'd pay as a neutral to watch Motherwell right now. I like the football. Really, really unlucky last time out against Celtic. They played some cracking football. Really took the game to Celtic. A lot of Celtic fans left that match, and they were like, 1, relieved they got the points. 2, just giving plaudits to Motherwell for their attacking style. Manager's done wonders with that. The results haven't followed. Obviously, they got the win against Aberdeen, etc. But everybody's standing back and admiring the football. Here's one for you, okay? So Motherwell, when they play Falkirk on Saturday, okay, this is their longest unbeaten home run since Opta records began in 1998. It's a cracking run. So I think it will continue. I cannot see Motherwell getting beat. So I'll probably jinx that, and Motherwell will get beat by Falkirk. But equally, listen, Falkirk are decent. They played really well against Rangers, and if things had went a different way, I mean, they could have walked away with the points there. I mean, it's been quite a while, I would imagine, that Falkirk fans have walked away from a game against Rangers and been disappointed and saying that actually that was 2 points dropped. So again, I think it's going to be another cracking match. I think McGlynn will set his team up, obviously, not to get beat, but to attack as well. And we know what Motherwell are going to do. So, I mean, it'd be great to watch this game. If I was down that area, and if anybody is down that area, get yourself along. It's going to be a cracking game.
I know. And I tell you another thing, Chris, I've been to Ford Park a lot of times. The pitch is in excellent condition. It's great for football. Get down there. But Regan Charles Cook has come back from international duty. So has Tawanda Maswan Hisi. He was representing Zimbabwe. Charles Cook was representing Grenada. They've got internationals now in their team. That bringing back that experience from these games will put Motherwell in good stead.
It will, but I mean, they have to start winning. It's like, it's almost as if these teams don't realise you actually get 3 points for a win. So you can clock up all the draws you want, but they really need to start. I mean, they beat Rangers, obviously, but they really need to start finishing teams off, I would say. It's great, and I think there's I speak to a few of the guys I play fives with, Motherwell fans, and there's definitely a feel-good factor, but I think once they start turning it into more wins rather than just the odd draw, then that brings the sort of results along with the way they're playing.
Yeah. They've got 7,000 tickets sold for the semi-final already. And I got an email from Motherwell Football Club. Tickets now on sale. Motherwell St Mirren, Saturday the 1st of November. The supporters bus is going from Motherwell. If you want to get in, on those, the bus is £20 per person, and your tickets as well. If you can and you want to go to the final, get in touch with Motherwell Football Club, a club that's built from the fans up rather than down the way. It's a good running club. Who else have we got? The last one is Hibs Livingston.
Are we doing the predictions? I predict a 1-1 draw for the Motherwell game.
1-1 draw. Glenn, did you say?
No, I know I didn't. So I will. I'm going to go for an exciting 3-2 to Motherwell.
Yeah, I'm going to 2-0 to Motherwell. I think they're that good. Hibernian Livingston. What can you say about Martindale? He's there all the time. There must be a quiz question about him as well, Glenn, at some point.
Yeah.
He's got another team, solid team this year.
Yeah. He works wonders with them. You got to think about Martindale. So if you step back and look at it, he's probably the most successful manager. He took him to a cup final. He's kept him in the league, and then they got relegated, but he's taken him back up at first time of asking. He's done wonders on a very, very small budget. And again, he gets the best out of players. You think, really?
He does.
Stevie May was excellent against Rangers. High press, harassing him and everything, etc. The last time out as well, I think it was, if I remember rightly, it was him that pressed against the defender, which led to their goal. So he got an assist there, and he was all over the place. I mean, that was against Dundee United. That was a good result for them. Yeah. I really rate him as a manager. I mean, I don't know if he'll ever go on to anything bigger. I mean, he's one of those. He's almost like McGlynn. He's unfashionable. Yeah. I don't think a lot of the larger clubs, I don't really want to use that term, but ones with more financial clout, etc., and maybe a bigger fan base, they often overlook these guys that do really good jobs week in, week out, set up their teams well. They tactically astute, know what they've got resources wise, and get pound for pound more out of their players than a lot of the better paid players. I mean, he's actually turned around and says he can't wait to face Motherwell because the way that Motherwell are playing just now, and praising the manager, saying that look, it's a new style of football. I really like what he's doing, kind of thing. You don't hear that kind of talk from most of the other managers. They focus on their team, and they maybe give some like small plaudits to the other one, like saying that they're well set up and etc. But he really admires Motherwell and wants to play them. Brilliant, I like Martindale.
Yeah, me too. Chris, this could be a tough game for him. So playing at Easter Roads, they're usually quite good there with their own fans, and one of the best songs to sing while they're playing, Sunshine and Leith. You would think on paper they've got the team to beat Livingston, wouldn't you?
Well, they're not really a team that are winning that. I mean, you say the exact same thing as I would say about Motherwell. They need to start winning, and if they're going to have any sort of decent, sustained challenge for Europe, they really need to start winning. And just that last gasp defeat against Hearts last week, the week before, they just need to forget about that and move on and really start getting the ball in the net. And I don't know. I'm not so sure it will be against Livy. I suspect it'll be a 1-1 draw, but they need to start raising their game without a doubt, or they can forget Europe.
Yeah, absolutely. Through this, I feel exactly the same. I was just about to say a few things about Hibs flattering to deceive. They need to win, Glenn. They need to start getting the ball in the net. And Livingston will be a really doughty challenge for them. I'm going to draw here. I'm going 1-0.
Yeah. I don't think many people would disagree with you. I mean, I think Hibs have got five draws and 6. Another one was a defeat. They play some nice football, but I mean, scored 10, conceded 10. that's that's not top six material there. They've got the players, they've got the talent, but they just haven't done it so far. And remember, Hibs fans may not think this, but this is an Edinburgh derby. Livingston will be up for this, and obviously Hibs haven't got a great record in the Edinburgh derby at the moment. I would say it's a draw as well. There will be goals, but I don't think it'll be high scoring. I'll go 1-1.
I'm 1-1. What did you say? 1-1 as well, Chris?
I don't know if I did, but I will.
Right, 1-1. 3-1. That's the only game we've all agreed the exact
so that's not happening.
So expect something different because this will be a coupon buster. I'm absolutely sure of it. Glenn, can you leave us with a final quiz question that we can leave hanging?
Yeah, absolutely, guys. So, okay. At which English club did David Moyes begin his managerial career, and which Spanish one did he manage after he left Manchester United? So David Moyes, which English club did he begin his managerial career with, and which Spanish one did he manage when he left Man U?
I've got these. I've got them.
All right.
I've got both, but I'm not going to tell them because we're going to let them hang. But next week, and I promise there's no Googling here, I'll have them for you, right? But we'll let them hang, Glenn, so that people can, if they're watching this. Yeah. By the way, if for all those people listening, if you can subscribe to the channel and click the link, click the wee hands, and make a comment, would be absolutely delighted. We're trying to grow the channel to get as many people listening to this as we can. We'll be doing other things in the future, like trying to get onto Twitter, and so you can live stream it on that as well. But for now, I think that's just come to an end, guys. I've really enjoyed it. Hope you have too.
Thoroughly enjoyed it, guys.
Yeah, and we'll catch up again next week.
All right. Take care, guys. See you later.
All the best, fellas. Cheers now.